Part of a caregiver's job is to be good company, and you certainly are that.
My mother, I believe she was murdered. I think the killer might already be dead.
Do yourself a favor, detective. Let her rest in peace.
I think I might be going crazy. I keep dreaming things or seeing things. I don't know which it is. Is there anyone else inside this house?
There's nobody here but you and me.
There's something evil haunting this house. It wasn't a bad dream, not my imagination. Okay, for the last time, I'm telling you the truth.
What's your name?
Juliet.
If you survive the night, Juliet, the bitch will be defeated.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Night of the Caregiver. Available right now, on demand, all the things. Do the searches. Once you're done watching this interview, please support my special guest, the director of Night of the Caregiver, Joe Cornet. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Night of the Caregiver. When I first thought of it, being a Filipino man myself, we have a lot of Filipinos that are in the hospice nursing community. I was like, oh, are we having am I going to see a bunch of Filipinos taking care of people and some craziness happening? No, but we do have some craziness happening. But I would like to say, put my hat in for a sequel, because there's a lot of us in the health industry. And I think we have like the story of aswangs in the Philippines, which are kind of very similar evil creatures, if you will. So if you ever kind of want to do a remake or a part two, let me throw a Filipino hat in there for a part
Duly
two.
noted. Okay. I like it.
So Night of the Caregiver, where did this story come into your hands? Talk to me about how this project began.
Well, I had made my first feature with Alexander Nevsky, who you will also have on your program later today, I believe. And we had just finished a Western together called Gunfight at Rio Bravo, and which is out now. And it's been out since the first of the year. And it's a rip-roaring yarn full of action and a tale of the Old West with a sort of spaghetti Western twist. And we had just wrapped that production, and Alexander Nevsky came to me and said, how would you feel about doing a horror film? And I looked at him and I said, well, I would be interested because I've never done that genre before, except one attempt some years ago. And I'm fascinated by it. I said, but one caveat, no zombies. I have nothing more to say about zombies. What more can be said about zombies? I like zombies. I played a zombie once, but he said, no. It's a tale of the supernatural and the paranormal. So I read the script, which was also by the great Craig Hammond, who had written Gunfight at Rio Bravo. And he's written mostly all our stuff that Alexander and I are doing and will do together. And the script was written, I think, in the early days of the pandemic. And the script had been tucked in a drawer. And anyway, I read it and it jumped right out. And there were a lot of elements to it that I really kind of got into. And Alexander wanted it to look more like a Dario Argento movie than anything else. And I said, I can do that because Argento has long been a favorite of mine. And so we shot it, and our cast includes the great Natalie Denise Spurl, who plays Juliet, who is the caregiver, and Eileen Dietz, who, as you probably know, played Pazuzu in The Exorcist. So the idea, especially of having her play a major role in this film, was fascinating because it sort of, now I had the Friedkin connection. Okay. She was, The Exorcist is one of my favorite films of all time. In fact, I've got right here, here's Friedkin's book. I recommend it to anybody that is interested in filmmaking. He was so great. What a loss, but we have his legacy. We have his films. And, but Eileen was just a joy to work with. And she was so much fun, and she was so much fun for the rest of the cast and crew alike. And we all had a marvelous time shooting this very terrifying movie. And it is a story about the paranormal, but it's also got a satanic angle to it. I don't want to give away too many spoiler alerts. But there are elements of Argento in it, and there are elements of The Exorcist in it. And I tried to give it a look that was very unique to just about any standard horror film. And I think we achieved it. Every great horror film production, as you know, has some creepy legend surrounding it. You may recall that there was a famous story about when they were filming The Omen in the 70s. Gregory Peck flew to London and his airliner was struck by lightning. And there are all kinds of weird things that happened on that set. And certainly with The Exorcist, there were weird stories surrounding that. So here we are. We're filming this film about a demon and satanic things. And on or about our third or fourth night, and we did practically all night shoots. So it was about the third or fourth night, and I was just getting ready to get set up for a major scene. And the power goes out on the whole block, the location where we're filming. We were filming in the Hollywood Hills, and it went just pitch black from the top of that hill all the way to the valley side.
Wow.
So I waited. And there are some things you cannot control as a director, and like that. So I waited a fair amount of time. And after about 45 minutes, I just said, well, I sent everyone home. So we're all driving back to our respective places. And I get a call from the owner of the location. He says, you're not going to believe this, but right after you all left and headed down the hill, the power came back on.
Oh my gosh.
And that thing that's behind you, that demon, when we were getting ready to shoot that thing, and the actress playing that demon was running around in this demon makeup. I'm not saying it's probably a coincidence, but it's a nice little creepy story. And yes, she did drive home quite often in full makeup.
Oh my gosh.
So she drove back to her place in Toluca Lake. I think she was living at the time, in that makeup that you see.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, I love stuff like this. Thank you for that, Joe. I love stories like this.
Yeah.
Amazing. One of the things I noted when I was reading, when I got the breakdown and everything about this project that really caught my attention as a horror fan, you mentioned Dario Argento as an influence, and then you mentioned The Exorcist as an influence, and the fact that you have Eileen Dietz, who, as one of your players, performers. I have her autograph from a scene of The Exorcist that she was in as well on my wall. So it's
Did
crazy.
You know she wrote a book?
Yes.
And
that's awesome.
She very, very, very nicely wrote me a little endorsement there too. And
wonderful.
Anyway, I recommend it. It's a fun book too. So
I love that. But yeah, once I saw those marks in the breakdown, I'm like, oh, so this has got to be good. If they're like Dario Argento influence, having Eileen Dietz, referencing come on now. Like I'm all in. Here's my money. So I can't wait to watch this. I'll probably be watching it later this afternoon after I talk to your producer, as you mentioned as well, later this afternoon. So one of the things I also noted as well when I was doing my research is you're an actor. Beyond just being, a director, filmmaker, I'm very much the same. I started off as an actor. was in Ace Ventura. Then that was what got me the acting bug, and led myself into film, as well as celebrating film by talking to filmmakers like yourself. I just love this as an art form. Yeah, to me, it's truly an art. We get money and prestige, but I'm not in it for that. I'm in it about creating and inspiring people. So when this project came to you, you climbed on board. Alexander, who you worked with on the gunfight film. What was something that you learned as an actor and bringing that eyes to it as a filmmaker? I'm not sure how many films you've directed beyond this one. I'd have to look back at my information. But like, we all learn on every project. If you're not learning on every project, something's wrong. You're not growing. What did you learn about this and that you're taking with you towards other projects?
Well, I've directed and been in 6 feature films. And 3 of those I wrote myself. And those 3 were all Westerns, but coming into a different genre, because I was sort of known for this Western thing. And I have a definite style to these Westerns. I mean, each one is different and each one has a different look, but I had a definite style. So I kept getting pulled back into the Western genre. And happily so, because I love Westerns. That's my favorite genre of all time. But the prospect of going into a film like this that wasn't just your average horror movie, was very intriguing. And it was interesting just to have a whole different take, because, and especially because I'm in this as well. And I play this sort of cynical, very deeply disturbed detective from New York, and who's got a lot of emotional baggage, which is it's totally different than the gunslingers, and sheriffs and semi-bad guys I would play in these Westerns. So that, I think, was sort of an interesting learning curve. And all the makeup and effects, because we really went to town on that. We had a wonderful makeup artist on this. And watching her create, for instance, that monster behind you, I watched that being built from the ground up. And then watching the actress get these makeups applied each and every day, it was a long process. And there's blood effects, and we used a lot of practical effects too. So that was kind of interesting, even though I had experience with that. In the horror genre, it's a different thing, and so that was interesting to me. And just the idea to give this, rather than what I had been working on, give it a Hitchcock flair here, an Argento flair there, little bit of Friedkin look to it, and just trying to channel these different people that loomed large in my life in this genre. That was the challenge, and that was the fun.
I love that. I love that. So do you think, with that being said, you think you find yourself maybe returning to Night of the Caregiver for a part 2 or other horror projects? What else can we highlight as well? And again, remind everybody, Night of the Caregiver is available right now on all platforms. Go check it out. I have the links in the description below, y'all.
Well, I would say, yes, there will be more horror films. There will also be more Westerns, but there will be more horror. And I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say we may revisit these characters again.
Okay. Love to see a Filipino version again, Mike.
I like that idea.
But are there any other genres you're looking to possibly explore as well? So you finally broke into a horror genre. Do you want to maybe put your stamp, or see what you can do in other genres?
Well, yes, I have a script that I wrote a few years back, and it's been reworked slightly. And it's a thriller, a murder mystery set in the 1960s. And it's called Kaleidoscope. And that's definitely on the slate as well. So maybe we'll do something there. And of course, I have several scripts right behind me that are just good old action films, you know.
Love that. Well, I'm excited. You've got me all the way pumped up to see this film. Looking forward to checking this out later this afternoon. And again, everybody, it's available right now, so you can do the same. After you're done watching this interview, go check it out. Check out Night of the Caregiver. I also have my interview with the producer as well, so check that out. Joe, again, thank you so much for your time. As these other projects come along, I would love to have you back to give you your flowers, help do my thing as a fellow filmmaker to help support my fellow filmmaking community. Would love to chat it up with you. Before we go, I'll have, again, all the links in the description below. Is there any links or socials you want to throw at the people? And also just tell the people to go see Night of the Caregiver. What else do you want to tell them about it?
Please see Night of the Caregiver. Don't forget about Gunfight at Rio Bravo. Also, I made a really good film a couple of years back called Promise, which is my big Western, my big sort of morality tale. And it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of good actors in it. So please check that out. That's also, Promise is available on all platforms. Gunfight at Rio Bravo is available everywhere. Obviously, we even sell t-shirts, but you can go to my Facebook page, which is Joe Cornet, Cornet, and I'm right on there. I'm also on Instagram at San Rafael Productions, San, SANRAFAEL Productions. So they could find me there, and that has all the news and updates. It's all solely dedicated to my cinematic stuff.
I love it. Well, Joe, I'm going to do all the follows, subscribe, so look for that. Definitely going to show support. And everybody else, I want you to do the same. And go check out Night of the Caregiver. It's available now. Go check out Gunfight at Rio Bravo. It's all available right now. He's got the content, and we'll have him back when he has more on the way to show love and give you your flowers. Joe, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate the support.
No worries. Everybody,
filmmaker.
Thank you, sir. Everybody, Joe Cornet, Night of the Caregiver. It's your boy, Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Yes, they do. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you, sir. All right.